What happens when you purify your body, your mind, your spirit? Something miraculous. The body begins to heal itself. Welcome to the Medicine Girl podcast, where each week we explore new ways to heal your body from the root, igniting your inner healer. You are the medicine. And now, here's your host, Robin Stebbins.
The final episode in our three-part series with Pete and Peter begins now. This is where we left off last episode, and now on with the show.
And a lot of people don't try very hard to avoid looking at the sickness within.
Right.
And, you can only try and things will only happen, I'm sure, once you've looked at the sickness within.
Oh right, yeah.
Like you and I mean, I know we're going a little bit off topic here, but we're lately beginning to. We watched a little YouTube video on some psychologists and philosophers, and we come across Carl Jung, and and the concept of individuation.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, that it's happening to us.
Yeah.
It's happening.
That process.
And we can identify with what's going on. For example,
well, we can see it in other people.
We can see that we've grown out of
this society.
We've literally grown out of this society. Like years ago, obviously we're living in the UK. You've got ABBA, popular band, played on the radio, on wherever. And
Dancing Queen.
Absolutely, you hear it all the time. Over the years. But now it's gotten to a point where we've outgrown ABBA.
Right.
I'm tired of ABBA.
Tired of listening to it.
I'm tired of listening to the same old stuff that the UK has to offer, because I've grown out of it.
Yeah.
I've literally grown out of it. But you see, the thing is that the people in charge of the country, they don't want lots of people like me.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
They don't want lots of people like me, because I won't vote. I won't take part in their...
Or you'd want change.
I'd want change. I'd want to see change. But I wouldn't want to just stop immigration and all this. I'd want proper change.
Yeah.
But that's something they wouldn't want. So, we're currently going through... I'd say it's an exciting... transformation period. It's been going on for quite maybe a year and a half, 2 years, whatever.
Well, you notice things.
You notice little things as you and I talk to a lot of people, and a lot of people don't interest me much, because I find their conversations just boring. They're not
stimulating.
They're not stimulating, because I don't talk football. We don't talk football. We don't talk the weather. We don't talk what other people, bills, money. We don't talk that. We talk about life. Because this is what it's all about. It's everyone leads a life, so why not talk about it?
Right. But it's almost like, though, that when you both are, I feel, whatever you want to call it, it's not a hierarchy, but you're awakening to who you truly are as a human being.
Yeah, that's individuation.
That's individuation. Yeah. I don't know whether. Yeah, you sound as if you've already read up on Carl Jung.
Yeah, well, I have. It's been a while, but I think it's interesting, because as you are going through the individuation, or whatever you want to put the words on it, the awakening, or then you're illuminated from within. You're not looking outside for answers, which means you're no longer the consumer. But I think what happens, though, is you're a lighthouse, and you don't go around looking for boats to rescue. You're just standing there your light, and so you're illuminating those around you. You're not convincing them, you're not telling them what to do, but you're illuminating. Through that illumination, it's like, birds in murmuration. They're all flocking in one direction for so long, but it's going to change. The only constant is change, and that can change in the flick of a switch. And then all of a sudden, the whole public is talking about what you and I are talking about.
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
And then we're starving the system. We're not fighting it because you're never going to fight against the system and win. But they have to have our attention. They have to have us talking about them and the Kardashians and whoever.
Yeah, no. But the best way you can not beat the system, but the best way you can change the system is by, well, in our understanding, is not participating in it.
Exactly it. You starve the system of your attention. You starve it of your energy that you've converted to money, gold, silver. You're not giving it to them, you're giving it to each other, contracting with each other. Hey, my neighbors and I are starting a food forest. I have bees. They like to talk to me about bees. I'm not going to go in there with guns ablazing, talking about politics and how it's two wings of the same bird.
But it's tangible.
It's tangible.
It's
like
tangible.
Grocery store prices
would you like some wax?
Would you like some beeswax? Would you like
honey? Would you like some honey?
Would you like to know how to keep the bees happy?
Sure.
And that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's how we change it. It's not going to be this big epiphany and explosion of human consciousness, but it's just going to be that one tipping point where now it's not feeding this beast of corporate greed because it's going to be finite. It's just a matter of when. And and then we have then spent this time creating fertile ground for the explosion of individuation, human consciousness, realizing there's more to it than just putting your head down and going shopping and doing these things that we've been programmed to say is a healthy, productive life.
Yeah, well, mainly it's about enjoying life. I think that's that's well, for me anyway. From what I've looked at with the individuation, you begin to realize. I mean, I've learned a long time ago that the only thing you've got to give to other people is your good mood.
Yeah,
you can only have a smile. You can only be in a good mood. That's all you can do in life. I mean, there's no point walking around being miserable and looking glum all the time because it doesn't help anyone. But if people were able to enjoy life and even walk around with a smile, be happy, then that changes things. People notice you, and they think, well, what's he got that I haven't got?
Oh right, yeah.
And then that is something, and I'm sure I don't mean to be boastful, but that's something that a lot of people want.
Yeah.
And if you've got something that a lot of people want, I mean, come on, I mean, you've cracked it, haven't you?
Yeah, no, but the trouble
is, going to be very popular. They're going to think, well, what's his secret?
But the trouble is that a lot of people are only exposed to smiles on the TV.
Right. Oh yeah, sure. Sure.
When in TV, it's all about money on the TV. Nice teeth, wealthy, people doing lots of different things. Whereas a lot of people aren't in that kind of situation because they're drawn into this fact that you're drawn into this world that in order to be happy, you've got to have money and you've got to be successful.
Yeah. But I think people know deep down inside when something's authentic.
That's
authenticity. Yeah.
Authenticity is very important, and I'm sure that's part of the individuation.
Yeah, and our humans crave that authentic connection. They crave somebody looking into your eyes and listening to your story, not because they want to convince you of something, but because they truly are interested in seeing you. The I see you, the true I see you.
Or it could be that they actually want to change.
Yeah.
They want to change, and they can see that you can help them change.
Yeah, because we all rub off on one another, on each other.
Just by your frequency, though.
Yeah, so some people might be adverse to our interaction. Some people might not like us interacting with them. But it's not your fault. It's just a lot of people aren't prepared. They're not geared up to accept and be inviting or welcoming to the way you are. But a lot of people can sense when they know that you're in a better position than they are.
Right.
And if people know that, then they too could be in the same situation.
And this has got nothing to do with money.
Absolutely.
You could have someone who's quite wealthy who
is totally miserable.
is
I see that all the time.
Could be unhappy, and they can see that you live a very simple life, but you're a lot happier and content within yourself. They can see that.
But I think that's the truest sign of intelligence is, can you engineer a life for yourself that brings you joy, brings you happiness, allows other people to feel that joy and happiness around you, not in a codependent way, but just in a way that is abundant.
Well, I mean, one thing that's there you need a lot more people who are together. Let's say, use the word together. They are together. They're you're talking about groups of people.
Yeah.
Whereas at the moment it's more individual. There's more individuals dotted around the place, and these people need to kind of come together. But I think there are people. My view that you're probably experiencing some people in America as well as it is here, where there's a lot of people who are disliking the workplace.
Yes.
Because they can sense that it's very toxic,
Yes.
and that it's not good for anyone's mental health. Now we could develop that and go one step further, and think that people might actually realise that even money is bad for you.
Right.
Or the desire
for money. Wanting things
of it, yes,
is bad for you. So can you imagine what the world would be like if a lot of young people, for example, got absolutely switched off from the desire for money,
I know,
wanting money?
Which I think is what's happening anyway.
Can you imagine what it's going to be like? How people will value more simple things in life than actually going out to work 9 to 5, chasing that money so that they can go on holiday 3 times a year, or twice a year, or once a year.
You guys, I think that's happening, and I see it on the kind of underneath the surface. It's bubbling up, and the more I hear, my son is going to be 19, and I listen to his friends talking, and there is that sense of they don't want to do what we've done, work.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. Yeah.
And look miserable, and then you get a few good years of quote retirement when everyone's old and you've been used up anyway. What's the point in that? And so they're starting to see, and I think they're starting to wake up to, hey, I want to be happy right now. How can I do that?
That's it. I totally agree with that. Because that's more valuable.
That's more. Yeah, that is more valuable than
all the money in the world.
Than going out and doing a job that you may not like, or
I
mean, it's just it's something. Yeah, sure.
But we can only hope for things like that to change.
Well, I think the internet's helped change.
It starts with you guys. It starts with you doing your wonderful work. It starts with me creating that. I realized when I go see hospice patients, I used to, try and think of all the different ways I could heal them, and brought in, these little tuning forks, and then I had my essential oils, and it was never about that. It was me sitting down next to the person.
Yeah, just being with them.
Just being with them, and actually though not talking at them, because I never have done that. It's just you're both equals, and I'm curious about your story. Tell me about who you are. Tell me about what lights you up.
Intimacy.
Yes, and it brings both of us joy. So it's not a vacuum where I'm like, oh, I'm exhausted because I had to listen to this person drone on. I'm genuinely interested.
Yeah, I mean, you could have. Sorry, but you could have this guy who's worked for this multinational corporation, a high executive, and he's done his job, and he's brought up a family. He brought up kids. He's gone out to work, all the time, gone on holiday, lived a successful life. But all the while, all that time, no one's actually taken an interest in him as a person. And yet he could come down with some kind of terminal illness. He goes to the hospice, and then you come along and you sit with him, and you take an interest in him, and you value him as a person.
As an individual,
And that is something that is missed out all of his life. So it's the connection we have with other people that's important.
Sure. Yeah.
And the value, how much we value those connections.
Right.
Because if you just treat your friends like, you don't treat your friends very well, or if you don't value these kind of relationships, then you're not going to have a very good relationship with other people when you need them.
Right. And I see that as a hospice nurse. And so it's what you're talking about is just that value that we have shifted our perspective from the money and the things, and how big is your house, and do you have a water view?
Yeah, I know.
All right. Yeah.
We're having a new driveway done this
Just
week.
imagine you're talking to I don't know, someone in the hospice, he's saying, "Oh, right, yeah. So, did you live in a big house then?"
Yeah, right.
Oh, right.
I mean,
Right.
it's just totally
What's in your bank account right now? None of that matters. And to be able to see it though when you're young and not have to wait until you're 57, but you see it now when you're 18 and 19, you don't have to spend half your life going through all of the mistakes and going underneath and having to heal your trauma and having to heal your whatever.
Well, you can be at your individuation stage
Yes,
in an earlier life instead of having it at a later life.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah, this is the thing. I mean, a lot of people. Well, I know a lot of people. Probably they get to. It's always been things gotten in the way of and preventing them from doing the things they want to do. So when they get older, they finish work, they retire. They think, right, now I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to go and travel, or I'm going to learn that musical instrument, learn to play that musical instrument. I'm going to do this or that. But people should have been doing that when they were younger,
right?
Before they were working. Yeah. So it's basically, and a lot of people probably don't want to be making up time.
Well, I had the gift of having an older father who all I heard from him the entire time we were growing up was how old he was and how he was a CPA, certified public accountant, did taxes all day, and how he couldn't wait to retire. And so when he turned 65, I saw my dad retire for 1 full week, and then he went back to work because he had nothing to do. He hadn't hadn't pursued interest. He hadn't pursued what he
and he put his life into work.
He put his life into work, and so he had nothing left. And then he died a horrible death.
I can understand.
And he was unhappy, and he was deeply unhappy until the day he died. And so I was able to see that, and I said, I'm living my life today.
Yeah, he was unfulfilled.
He was unfulfilled and always seeking that, well, someday when I retire, then I'm going to be happy.
So,
then I'm going to have the things that I can pursue. And you realize that it's too late then, because life is just the moment.
Life's short. Yeah, sure. Yeah, but again, people are.
I suppose that's down to education. That's down to how he was brought up.
There's a lot of factors there.
A lot of variables involved in his situation and a lot of other people's situations. But it's nice to be in a position where you can, identify the things you want to do, and then go ahead and do them. And you're not procrastinating. You just get on and do them because it's what you want to do.
Yeah, but a lot of that is what's key to that is knowing who you are.
Right.
A lot of people don't know who they are. Right. Like your dad may have known what he was good at.
Sure.
But he may not have known who he was.
As an individual.
As a person.
As a person.
And I wonder, he was a World War II vet. He was born in 1919. So to your point, I wonder if anyone ever sat down and asked him, hey, who are you? What do you enjoy doing?
Well, yeah, there was that. Yeah, but I've got to admit, times are different now than they were, during the war, and when you watch loads of films, from the 40s and 50s, all you see actors do is smoke.
smoking,
That's all they do, and you think, wow, it's crazy times.
drink. Yeah, I mean,
You know, in this country, they used to put grease over people's hair, on their hair.
Yeah.
Men used to put grease on their hair, brill
I
cream.
mean, look at the clothes.
Who'd want to do that now?
I mean, look at the clothes men used to wear in the 50s. You know, I mean, what a waste of material, fabric.
Yeah.
They used to wear baggy trousers, big jackets,
Yeah, I know.
wide lapels. I mean, why couldn't they have made clothes in the 50s that were more practical? You know, that saved material, that were just all right. But you know, it's taken them how long? How long has it taken human beings just to, you know, have some kind of common sense and apply that common sense to his life? You know, to the lifestyles as well.
Yeah, in other words, you can apply you can look at human beings as a whole, and look at them as a whole, and apply that kind of what you see. You can apply it to an individual.
Right.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That it makes perfect sense, and it's just, I think it's a matter of allowing us to forget all of the programming, all of the brainwashing, all of the what we're told will make us happy, the external, meaning we're just constantly trying to fill a void with something from the outside, and just stopping for a moment and realizing everything we need is within.
Totally agree. Yeah, but I think the main thing to do with the external is you just switch it off.
Yeah.
Cut it off.
Or don't take part in it.
I mean, I know in America you're probably exposed to more materialism and consumerism than we are here. But you know, switching it off is one way that you can. I mean, the TV, for example, we haven't had a TV for nearly 30 years.
That's a common thread, you guys.
The TV is the worst thing that anyone can have.
Yes.
In your home.
Yes.
And if you get rid of the TV, you're on your way.
Yeah, you're on your way.
You're on the way.
Well, that brings me to our last point, and that is, what do you see as solutions? So your first solution, obvious, and I agree with you 1000%, if that was even a thing, is get rid of your TV, turn it off.
Oh, absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
no, get rid of it. Get rid of it.
Yeah.
Just get rid of it. Don't have it in your house.
I mean, granted, we have a computer. You know, we have a display, but we don't actually have a TV. You've
Right.
got more control with a computer. You can go on videos that you want to watch. You can go on look at information that you want to watch. You're having nobody tell you that this is how it is. You don't have to listen to the news. The news is depressing. Get rid of it, you know.
And it's not even true. It's fear mongering. And so that you're supposed to be in that state of fear, which we have, I believe, determined is the number one way to destroy your health. So what are some other ways that we can look towards solutions?
Well, what another solution? Here, I'll give you an example. I used to go somewhere to do an activity, and I was talking with this guy, and this guy said, "Oh, I've just been made. I'm just retired. You know, just retired, and I'm like looking for things to fill up my time." And I kind of suggested to him just to get a diary.
Yeah.
You know, it sounds very simple, but if he got himself a diary, he can actually plan what he can do with his time.
Wow.
You know, so if you get rid of your TV, you're going to have more time on your hands. So you'll be looking for things to do.
Yeah.
And we're quite practical people.
And to encourage you to do things, you can get a diary.
Get a diary, yeah. And because you want to fill it up. You want to fill it up. You want to see it, you know, filled. You don't want to see it empty. I'm not doing much there, am I?
Yeah.
And it might encourage you to do things other than watch TV.
Quite a good suggestion, that isn't it?
Well, it's a very simple suggestion.
Very practical as well, yeah, of course. A diary doesn't cost much.
No.
But it's a lot of it is
you get a good visual on what your life is like. I mean, if you just open the page, what am I doing this week? Oh, look, it's blank. You know, it tells you, you've got a visual on what your life is like.
Oh, yeah, because
it's empty.
Oh, because it's also looking at you having control over your life. You know, you being able to say, right, I fancy doing this today, or I fancy doing that.
Yeah, what am I going to do on Tuesday afternoon?
If you're not, if you leave, if there's a void in your life, nature abhors a vacuum. So something will come along. It's a very philosophical way of looking at it, but something will come along to fill that.
You might meet a friend and they ask you to go to an afternoon tea. Or
and then you might go.
So you put it in the diary.
Yeah, and then you might meet someone there who does beekeeping, for example.
Right.
And then you might think, that sounds quite interesting. I might pop along to that. And it's amazing how one thing can lead to another.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key. I think
that's rather quite a good suggestion.
People want. You're living in a society where people want things like now. They want it today, and I think people need to step back from that way of thinking, and they need to relax more. They need to take things at a much slower pace. And actually, they don't need to analyze. They don't need to analyze everything that they do or analyze everything that people say to them.
Right.
But it's just knowing that they are part of the collective.
Yeah.
They need to be part. They need to interact with that. And they just need to find something. I mean, we always say find something you enjoy doing.
Right.
And they need to try different things, whether it's painting, whether it's playing an instrument, or do something.
Find a passion in life, find things.
Yeah, find a passion in life.
Find something that is really going to
that you want to do.
That you want to do. I think this is the whole. This is the point. Yeah. It's finding who you are.
Yeah.
So to know what you want to do. Even if you want to do something that can make you money, okay, you can do that as a job kind of thing, it's fine. But it's nice to be doing, it's brilliant to be doing something that you genuinely want to do. Yeah, if you don't want to do something, you're not going to be very happy about doing it. You're going to be unhappy about doing it. But if you find something that you genuinely want to do, that you're laughing, You're a lot happier.
You're a lot happier. Yeah, definitely.
And isn't that a great just biofeedback from the world? If you're happy, and not the kind of happy that's manic and it's fleeting, but just genuinely happy, a genuine laugh. That's how you know you're in the right place. You're enjoying.
Yeah, sure.
Well, it doesn't have challenges, but everything worth doing is challenging.
You're just satisfied. You feel satisfied.
Yeah, but you don't want for more. You're not searching for more because you're doing what you want to do. Right. If you've got what you want, why should you be looking for more?
But what you're describing is just nature in balance, and so you're just the same balance as you see outside in a normal healthy ecosystem. You have a normal healthy ecosystem inside.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's more. I think with what you've just said, I think that's more dependent on you as an individual. In other words, you will take your balance wherever you go.
Exactly.
So whatever happens, you'll still be balanced.
Yes.
Because you are balanced.
Yeah.
And it's so simple that way then, because
So
you can't rely on the world to change. You can't rely on anybody else to change, your spouse or your kids.
Yeah.
You change.
You change. A lot of times it's just your perspective of what it is we're doing. I mean, we have to open our eyes every day and we close them every day. So what do you want to have happen in those times that your eyes are open, watching cat videos all day and playing games online and watching fear-mongering on TV? Or do you want to go on a hike and see something you've never seen before, or go to the top of a mountain, watch the sunrise? Those start to become the monetized experiences.
Yeah, there's lots of things that people can do in life.
Yeah.
But it boils down to whether people want to do them. I mean, my view is that if what is the point in someone going mountain climbing if they don't want to do it? Right. I just can't see the point in it. Just can't see the point in it. Why put yourself through a lot of stress?
Yeah.
Because you're, I don't know, a friend or someone has
Urged you to go.
encourage you to go. You don't want to do it. What's wrong with saying no?
Absolutely.
No, I don't want to go. I'm not interested.
Right.
Sure.
And then it may, or I say, give it a try. If you don't know, if you're on the fence, just give it a try. If you hate it, don't do it.
Absolutely, yeah, sure. But again, it boils down to finding out who you are.
Yeah,
Because when you know who you are, you know what you want to do.
yeah.
So you'll know beforehand whether you want to go mountain climbing or not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not my company. If somebody asked me, I'll say no, because it's not my cup of tea. It's something I wouldn't get any kind of thrill out of one little bit. Plus, it's dangerous as well. So I wouldn't want to do it.
Well, especially at our age, anyway.
Well, yeah, sure, but I just wouldn't want to do it.
But it's. I think you get more satisfaction out of something if you want to do it.
Sure. So there's that. So,
and that applies with even with a job.
Yeah.
Why do people get a job just for the sake of working?
Right.
Oh, I've got to go and find some. I've got to get some.
Or people should be searching for a job they really want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, they've got to know who they are to know what work they want to do, truly want to do.
Or they can figure out a way to, make money in a couple hours a day and do the rest of the day is something that really brings.
Yeah, sure.
It's about engineering your life so that it brings you the maximum amount of joy, and it's something that you get a kick out of. It's the joy of life, that X factor you can't quite put a finger on, but it just lights you up inside.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what a lot of people are missing in their life.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Pete and Peter, where can people find you if they want to get a hold of you? I'll have all the links to your YouTube videos and the Water is Not H2O book and anything else that you want to add.
Well, people can find us where you're going to leave the links. So that's great.
That's sorted.
Anything else we want to add?
Not really. I think we've said everything really.
Yeah, we did have some information up here on our desktop about aluminium, argon as well.
But we don't need to. I don't think we need to divulge
the processing and the.
Of course, you see, the thing is, when you get to a certain understanding, you begin to realise that. I mean, we've come to the conclusion now that nobody can truly come to know the natural world. Nobody can.
I agree with you guys 100% because
there we go.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying. You can't reduce it down. You can't isolate it. You can't understand the inner workings of it, including how the human body works, including how we even process plants and energy. It's that which we will not know. So then we can pursue what we were talking about for the last half hour.
Yeah. So I mean, I speak to a lot of people online about the shape of the earth, about lots of science stuff, gravity, you name it. And a lot of people say to me all of these theories, well, this causes this and that causes this. But you've got no proof.
Right, exactly.
You can't prove it to me. So how do I know that you're correct and my ideas about the same thing we're both observing in the natural world is true?
Yeah, I know, yeah.
How do I know that I'm wrong?
There's even people.
You tell me how I'm wrong,
right?
And then I'll change my mind, and then I'll jump on board.
Well, you got people who think the Earth is this spinning ball, and Newton came up with this understanding of gravity that a larger mass will attract a smaller mass. So something in the air, the Earth is pulling it down.
Oh, yes, an object that's falling,
and they call that
pulled for the Earth.
They call that gravitational attraction. Now, there are some people who disagree with that view, but in order to counter it, they go to the other extreme and say that the Earth is moving upwards.
Oh,
yeah, sure. Now we've totally got a middle of the road kind of view on this, but nobody, not even us, can prove our positions. Nobody can. The Globy people can't prove or demonstrate that there is a pull on falling objects to the Earth. Yeah,
right.
They can't do that. So you see a falling object. Well, how can you test the presence of a pull? on that object.
Right.
What are you going to use?
Cool.
You know, and all these people who think the Earth is moving upwards, they can't prove the Earth is actually moving upwards, because you need to look at the Earth from way up high to see it, from outside to see it moving.
Well, it's almost like what we're talking about is if you were a video game or the Mario Brothers, and you're trying to point outside of the video game to the inside the video game that you're in the video game.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. It's very
You're
similar.
never going to be able to do it.
Yeah,
unless you change the frame of reference.
Yeah, unless you change your frame of reference, but you can't be doing that because that's artificial.
That memeans you're not human.
That means I'm not.
Exactly.
I want to experience life the way I experience it. I don't want to put myself in. I don't want to put myself on a falling rock and then say, "Oh, the Earth's moving upwards," and I'm stationary.
Right.
Yeah, which is what these people do. But so they've got their view, we've got our view, but nobody can prove what is the right view. Nobody can prove what is the right view. And it's the same with lots and lots and lots of other things in science regarding the natural world, whether it's water is H2O, whether it's there's all of these so-called elements actually existing naturally and occurring naturally. They can't prove it.
Okay. Well, it's like, Robin, your article on your magnesium. I was reading some of the comments, and I noticed there was one woman who left a comment. Oh no, you're totally wrong. Well, we know magnesium is an element. Blah 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 blah. And like you think you can tell that she's really been sucked into the narrative.
Yeah, she's been conditioned.
And yet she
indoctrinated.
She can't actually go into nature and find you a piece of magnesium.
Exactly.
She can't do it.
No.
It's impossible.
Yeah,
and when you look at magnesium, I'm sure there's some sodium. There's a lot of metals, alkaline earth metals that are
sodium based.
Alkaline metals that are sodium based, and I think magnesium is one of them.
Right. Well, and
it seems to be more. It seems to be more stable.
But yeah, the point is that I suppose that's one of the things that I think would be beneficial for people to start to realise, and that is that the world they live in is unknowable. So why not focus on other things that can be known? But we do have we can gain some kind of true knowledge over.
Yes.
Not waste our time.
Like what makes us happy.
Like what makes us happy. What do I want in my life?
Right.
Let's find out who you are, who we are.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good way forward, for a lot of people.
So there you go.
Well, and it's also so that we're not getting stuck in these, dead end roads with hamster wheels at each dead end of, okay, what manufactured supplement is going to be the best for my body, and what's going to take away this, when we realize the base elements of healing are subtraction, not addition. Take away the poisons, the body will heal itself.
Oh, yeah.
And there's no, pomp and circumstance in that. It just is.
Yeah. You've reduced a lot of worry and stress.
Yeah.
And you're letting nature take more control over, or you're working with nature more.
You're working with nature. You're losing the illusion that
you're working against it.
Nature.
Yeah.
You're realizing that you are nature, and so we continue to reduce the interference.
Sure.
Miraculous body.
Yeah, just as a final thing for me anyway, we spoke a little bit about individuation.
Yes.
I'm sure that Carl Jung was saying that people who haven't been individuated, they are more likely to become ill, their health will suffer, blah, 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 blah. And to be fair, I think that's absolutely true, because if you know who you are, you know your body. Yeah. So you know the limits of your body, you know the extent of what you can do with your body before it gets tired or you experience pain. A lot of people don't know who they are, so they're doing things and they don't know about their body, and they could have a lump occur on their body, but they just brush it off and they think, oh, that's nothing, and it gets worse. You know, it starts to get painful, but they're still carrying on with their life, thinking, yeah, that's nothing. But the thing is that if they knew who they were, they could do something about it.
They would do something.
They would do something about it at a very earlier point.
Well, and if they knew themselves truly, they wouldn't be engaging in things that weren't providing perfect balance for their.
Sure, yeah, absolutely, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Or if they knew themselves truly, they wouldn't get the lump in the first place.
Right, absolutely.
You know, this is the whole point. They could avoid going to the doctors, they could avoid going to the hospital, and they can enjoy life more. They can get on with their life, as opposed to spending a lot of time waiting at doctor's surgeries.
Yeah.
You know, because at the end of the day, time is all we have.
Right.
And at the end of the day, you know, who wants to be lying in a hospital bed for like 6 months?
No.
You know, 6 months of your life. Who wants to be doing that?
That's it.
Nobody.
I wouldn't want to.
Or would you rather be kite surfing in Mozambique in?
Oh no, I wouldn't want to be doing that.
Waters. I mean, but I know myself, so that's my healing. And so instead of spending 6 months, you know, going from doctor to doctor, which I would never do, but I know if I'm getting burned out and I'm starting to feel irritated, I know I need to spend more time doing other things that I love. I love to write, but it becomes a grind if I'm doing it all the time. So it's a balance. So knowing myself, I now know I'm going to book myself a kite surfing trip. Or
yeah.
you guys might be doing something else completely different. And so that's that little X factor we talk about, the joy of life. What brings us joy?
Sure.
Yeah, but I think you know, that doing something different can make you feel better, but in some ways that can just be temporary.
Yeah.
It's a bit like going on holiday, you know. You go on holiday, you come back, you feel revived, refreshed, but it's not taking away the drudgery of the doing the.
It's not getting rid of the problem.
You know,
it's like
well, in my case, I was talking about it's a balance. So I know I don't want to spend my life kite surfing either on these holidays. So it's knowing yourself enough to know how do you engineer your life that's perfect for you. Is it 6 months of holiday? Is it 2 weeks? Do you enjoy, you know, a little mini holiday every day? That's what we have agency over. And where there's a will, there's a way. I've seen miracles happen with people that start to see their potential. You know, I had a friend that was in a horribly abusive relationship. The guy was going to kill her. She had no options, no money. She ended up getting her nursing degree, getting her master's degree, getting out of the relationship, has, you know, a life that she loves now. And it wasn't, you know, all I did was give her some books and tell her that I believed in her. And now she's illuminated from within.
Yeah, but I mean, you could actually argue that, you know, could she actually go back to her ex-husband and thank him?
Yeah,
you know, because he's actually done her a favor.
Right.
He's given her the drive.
I think you guys, when
enthusiasm to change.
Yeah, when we hit the point of wholeness, then you can go back and thank them. And that's how you know, have you completed the healing? Have you completed full circle?
But again, I think people need sometimes people need a catalyst, something to happen that kicks in the change, that helps them transform.
That's where people that have achieved that homeostasis, and it could be fleeting, but when you have achieved the joy and you have that inner light and you have that inner joy, you can spread that around.
Oh, totally, yeah. But again, it's hanging around the right people.
Yeah.
You know, that's the big thing. If you're hanging around people who are miserable, you're going to end up miserable. If you hang around people who are positive, then that's going to rub off on you as well. But
again, it goes back to what you guys keep saying over and over. If you know yourself, you're not going to force yourself to be around people that drain your energy, you're going to know.
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
You will
'Cause you think,
naturally.
no, don't see you later. I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want to know. Yeah, Scott, yeah.
I haven't got any time for you
Yeah, I must be
today.
going now. See you later.
Yeah, but the thing is that when you talk about it, it all sounds so simple, doesn't it?
It is simple. It's not
Yeah,
easy.
life is simple.
You know, it sounds so simple, and yet it's people that make it complicated. There was Thor Heyerdahl who did the Kon-Tiki expedition. He had a saying that went, "Man complicates simplicity,"
Mm,
and that's so true.
true.
Man just complicates everything, and he doesn't need to.
No.
I mean, I'm not. I don't want to be sexist, but I say man in a generic way. But human beings complicate simplicity.
Yeah, and I don't know if that was by design or is that innate within us, or is that something we can talk about on our next conversation?
Sounds like something on the next conversation.
All right, guys. Well, it was a pleasure speaking with both of you.
It's been a pleasure. Unfortunately, you haven't been able to see us.
I know, I would like to.
Next time.
Next time, then. Okay, we'll do a video
Next time.
everybody. All right, you guys. Will have a wonderful rest of your evening.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we need to do some food as well.
Sure. Thank you, Robin, for your time.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Nice to meet you as well.
Very nice to meet you. I hope we can stay in touch.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay then.
Sounds good.
Take care.
Take care now.
Right.
Enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy your Sunday.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you for joining us for another incredible episode of the Medicine Girl podcast, where our mission is to ignite the power within so you can hear your divine wisdom and follow your soul's true north. Fear is loud, peace is quiet. Listen to the softest voice. We are all walking each other home.